Most people think a private jet is just a more comfortable airplane. A few bigger seats, maybe a nicer meal, but the jets billionaires fly in are something completely different. We're talking about aircraft with full bedrooms, showers running hot water at 40,000 feet, dining rooms, lounges, offices, even spaces designed to function like luxury apartments in the sky. Some of these interiors cost more than entire mansions, and once you step inside them, the line between airplane and home completely disappears. Because for the ultra wealthy, a private jet isn't just transportation, it's a place they actually live. Picture the cabin of a commercial first-class seat, the lie flat bed, the noise-canceling headphones, the little amenity kit with the socks and the lip balm. Now throw all of that away, because what we're about to walk through isn't an upgrade, it's a different category of existence entirely. We're talking about private jets, where the bedroom has a door that closes, where the shower runs hot water at 39,000 feet, where the dining table is set with bone china, and the chef in the galley has a Michelin star background. These aren't aircraft that happen to have nice interiors. They are flying penthouses that happen to have wings. Quick stat, the largest private jet in regular operation, the Boeing business jet, is based on the same airframe as a commercial 737, but the interior, some configurations reportedly cost more to complete than the aircraft itself. And that's just the starting point. The world of ultra-long-range business jets is divided into a few key classes. You have heavy jets like the Gulfstream G650 or the Bombardier Global 7500. Then you have the VIP airliners, the converted Boeing and Airbus wide-body jets that go by names like the ACJ 350 or the BBJ 777X. These are the ones that blur the line between aircraft and architecture. Quick stat, a fully outfitted Airbus ACJ 350 is believed to cost upwards of $400 million when you factor in the custom interior completion work. So what exactly is inside these machines? Bedrooms with full-size beds and blackout shades, private bathrooms with rainfall showers and marble countertops, lounges with leather sofas and 4K screens, boardrooms with conference tables and satellite internet fast enough to run a trading floor. Some have wine cellars, some have gyms. At least one reportedly has a full-size bathtub. This is not luxury for the sake of comfort. This is luxury as a statement of power, and to understand why these interiors exist, why they've evolved into what they are today, you have to go back to where it all started. The private jet wasn't always a flying palace. For most of aviation's early history, it was simply a tool, a faster way to get somewhere without dealing with commercial schedules. The first true business jets emerged in the early 1960s. The Learjet 23 debuted in 1964, and it was revolutionary, sleek, fast, efficient. But the cabin, roughly the size of a large closet, 6 seats, low ceiling, no standing room. It was a sports car with wings, not a home in the sky. But the people buying these aircraft were not ordinary people. They were executives, industrialists, heads of state, and as their wealth grew, so did their expectations. Through the 1970s and 80s, manufacturers started responding. Cabins got longer, ceilings got higher, range extended. The Gulfstream 2 and 3 became the preferred aircraft of corporate America's elite. Quick stat, by the mid-1980s, some estimates suggest there were fewer than 5,000 private jets in operation worldwide. Today, that number is believed to exceed 25,000. But the real transformation came in the 90s and early 2000s. Two things happened simultaneously. First, a new class of billionaires emerged from the technology boom. These were younger, more design-conscious buyers. They didn't want the traditional dark wood and green leather of old money aviation. They wanted minimalism, glass, open space, light. Second, the completion centers, the specialized companies that actually design and build these interiors, started hiring architects and luxury designers rather than just aviation engineers. Studios from Milan, firms from London, designers who had built super yachts and penthouse apartments began bringing that same language into the sky. Companies like Lufthansa Technik, Jet Aviation, and Gore Design Completions became the names behind the names. The aircraft manufacturer sells you the shell. These firms sell you the soul. And the soul, it turns out, has no ceiling on what it can cost. Quick stat, interior completion on a large VIP airliner can take anywhere from 18 months to 3 years, and is reportedly sometimes priced higher than the green aircraft itself. The result was a quiet revolution in what flying private actually meant. It stopped being about avoiding the airport. It started being about never wanting to land. So let's talk about the hardware, because if you want to understand what makes these interiors possible, what separates a $40 million jet from a $400 million one, you have to understand the aircraft beneath the design. Start with the Gulfstream G700. This is the flagship of one of the most respected names in private aviation. The G700 has a range of reportedly over 7,700 nautical miles. That's New York to Singapore, non-stop, no fuel stop, no interruption. The cabin is 61 feet long. It has up to 5 distinct living areas, and Gulfstream builds in what they call the most windows of any purpose-built business jet, giving the interior a natural light you simply don't get anywhere else. Quick stat, the G700 is believed to start at around $75 million before any customization. Then there's the Bombardier Global 7500. Bombardier made a choice that changed the industry. They gave their flagship jet a dedicated crew rest area, a full-size kitchen they actually call a kitchen, not a galley, and a bedroom suite with a real door. The stateroom in a Global 7500 can be configured with a queen-size bed, a vanity, and a separate wardrobe. It reportedly sleeps like a hotel room at altitude. Passengers have described waking up mid-ocean, looking out the window, and momentarily forgetting they were on a plane at all. Now step up to the VIP airliner category. The Airbus ACJ350 is based on the same wide-body platform used by commercial airlines, but in private configuration, the entire upper deck is sometimes converted into a single-owner suite. We're talking a bedroom suite the size of a Manhattan studio apartment, a full bathroom with a shower stall, a dressing room. One configuration, reportedly commissioned for a Middle Eastern buyer, included a dedicated prayer room and a separate guest suite with its own lounge. Quick stat, some estimates suggest fewer than 100 true VIP wide-body airliners exist in private hands worldwide, making them rarer than many supercars. And then there's the Boeing business jet line. The BBJ 777X, currently in development, will reportedly offer a cabin length of over 100 feet. That is not a typo, 100 feet. Interior designers have drawn up concepts featuring a full dining room, a separate study, a master suite, a second bedroom for guests, a gym, and a dedicated staff quarters, all in a single aircraft. At that point, the question stops being what can we fit in and starts being what do we want to leave out? So what does it actually feel like to live in one of these jets? Not visit, not ride, live. Because for some of the world's wealthiest individuals, the private jet isn't transport between homes. It is the home, or at least one of several. Imagine waking up in a bed with a 1,000 thread count duvet. The hum of the engines is barely audible. The cabin pressure has been engineered to feel like 6,000 feet rather than the 38,000 you're actually cruising at. Your body doesn't tire the way it would on a commercial flight. You shower, real hot water, a rainfall head, towels warmed by a heated rail. You sit down for breakfast at a table set for 2. The food was prepared by a private chef before departure and is finished in flight. Fresh fruit, eggs made to order, coffee from a proper espresso machine bolted to the galley wall. You open your laptop. The satellite connection is faster than some offices. Outside the window, the Atlantic is 3 miles below you. This is a Tuesday. Quick stat, ultra-high net worth individuals, those with assets over $30 million, reportedly number around 300,000 globally. Of those, a significant portion are believed to use private aviation regularly, though true jet ownership remains concentrated at the very top. The privacy factor alone is something commercial travel cannot replicate. No check-in, no security line, no gate. You drive onto the tarmac, climb the stairs, and the door closes behind you. Nobody knows you're flying. Nobody knows where. For heads of state, this is a security necessity. For CEOs, it's a competitive advantage. Business decisions made at altitude, away from leaks, away from listening ears. For the ultra-wealthy, it's simply the only way the world makes sense. Time is the one thing money can't create more of. Every hour not spent in an airport is an hour returned. Quick stat, a round trip on a commercial first-class ticket from New York to London can run between $10,000 and $20,000. A private jet charter for the same route is estimated at somewhere between $80,000 and $150,000. The ownership and operating costs of a top-tier jet can run into the tens of millions per year. But here's what people outside this world rarely understand. The signature flex in each of these jets isn't the price tag, it's the detail. The Gulfstream owner who had the interior matched to the exact wood grain of their ski chalet in Aspen. The tech founder who had their cabin designed around a circadian lighting system that adjusts to the destination's time zone automatically. The royal family that reportedly had their aircraft fitted with gold-plated fixtures throughout, not for show, but because gold is naturally antimicrobial and was considered a health-forward choice. It's these details that separate the merely expensive from the genuinely extraordinary. And they all point to the same truth. At this level, a jet isn't something you own, it's something you curate. So here's what we're really looking at. The private jet cabin at its most extreme is not a product, it is a philosophy made physical. It says, I move through the world on my own terms. My time has a value that cannot be negotiated. My environment goes with me. The sky is not a limitation, it's just another room. And that philosophy has created an industry that is not shrinking, despite economic cycles, despite fuel prices, despite every conversation about sustainability in aviation. The market for ultra-large cabin, ultra-long-range jets has grown consistently over the past 2 decades. Backlogs at Gulfstream and Bombardier have reportedly stretched to 3 and 4 years at various points. The waiting list to get a new BBJ or ACJ is measured not in months but in years. Quick stat, the global business aviation market is believed to be worth well over $30 billion annually, and some forecasts suggest it will continue expanding through the end of the decade. New buyers are emerging from technology, from finance, from energy markets in Asia and the Middle East. Each new generation of ultra-wealthy brings slightly different tastes, but the same fundamental demand: more range, more cabin, more private. And the manufacturers are listening. The next generation of aircraft that are still years from entering service, are already being designed with interiors in mind first. The engineering follows the dream, not the other way around. Which brings us to the question worth sitting with. We spend a lot of time talking about what wealth can buy, the houses, the cars, the art, but the private jet might be the most honest expression of all of it, because it doesn't just sit somewhere and look impressive. It moves, it crosses oceans, it puts the owner above the clouds, above the gridlock, above the ordinary rhythm of the world. It is, in the most literal sense possible, a life elevated. And somewhere right now, at 39,000 feet, someone is waking up in a bedroom with a view of the sunrise over the Atlantic, pouring a coffee, and opening a window shade to a sky that is entirely, completely theirs. No crowd, no queue, no compromise. Just altitude and the quiet certainty that the world below is exactly where they left it. If you want to see more from the world of extreme luxury, the yachts, the private islands, the estates that make most 5-star hotels look ordinary, make sure you're subscribed. And if this one surprised you, drop it in the comments. Tell us which detail hit different. We'll see you in the next one.